Hello, Serious Survivor here. And today I want to talk about the national emergency that was just declared by President Trump. And we're going to start off here by looking at some of the historics and what a national emergency really means to us as citizens and how it affects the presidency and the powers of the presidency. So let's check out some details here. The National Emergencies Act was enacted on September 14th in 1976. And it's a United States federal law that was passed to end all previous national states of emergency and to formalize the emergency powers of the president. The need for this law arose from the scope and number of laws that granted special powers to the executive office in times of national emergency. Congress can undo a state of emergency declaration with either a joint resolution and the president's signature or with a veto-proof two-thirds majority vote. The powers available under this act are limited to the 136 emergency powers that Congress has defined by law previously. On a side note, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which was enacted in 1977, falls under the National Emergency Act. And this means that an emergency declared under this act must be renewed annually to remain in effect. This act authorizes the president to activate emergency provisions of law with an emergency declaration on the grounds that the president specifies these provisions and activated and notifies Congress. This activation can expire at any time if the president himself terminates the emergency or does not renew the emergency annually. I'll leave a link below that shows all of the powers that are granted to the president through this act, but there's one in particular that will apply to the situation in which he has applied this act to, and that is number 10 USCA 2808. And this authorizes access for the president to grant approval for any military project or construction project that is deemed necessary. And this certainly fits into that case. As of February of this year, 2019, there have been a total of 59 national emergencies that have been declared, and 31 of those are being renewed annually. This includes 8 that were declared prior to the passage of the 1976 Act. The longest continuing national emergency act dates back to November 1979 by the Carter administration, and this one blocks Iranian government property and resources under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. So this is the longest running one. And this national emergency was issued after months of debate over the wall and was issued in response to the refusal of Congress to appropriate the $5.7 billion that's needed to build the wall. So on February 15th, 2019, President Trump declared a national emergency. Trump's declaration was unprecedented in one fact, and that's the fact that no previous declaration involved circumventing Congress to spend money that it had not authorized. So basically, this is the first time in history the president has used this authority to go around Congress and to authorize the spending of money that Congress themselves had not authorized. The money that President Trump plans to use for construction of the see-through steel barrier has previously been authorized and allocated by Congress for various other departments, and this includes Homeland Security, Health and Human Services, and the Department of Defense. The construction of this wall will be prioritized to areas of highest need as defined by Border Patrol in order to maximize the effectiveness and to allow the agents to concentrate their efforts at designated ports of entry. Let's look at some cost comparisons right here. I'm citing some specific sources. The cost comparison, $5.7 billion for a wall that could theoretically stop the majority of illegal immigration, compared to $116 billion a year, is the cost that illegal immigration cost you, me, and other citizens in the United States. This is our taxpayers' money. This is our money that we have paid to the federal government to keep us safe and to protect us. The money that we pay to the government to protect us at this current moment in time is being pulled into that $116 billion. If we compare the $5.7 billion cost of the wall to the $116 billion per year, and that number is dramatically increasing per year. And within 1 year, we would more than pay for the wall. We could pay for more than 20 walls, to be exact about that. Now, there are a lot of arguments that illegal immigration does actually contribute to the economy, and with an estimated $19 billion that were paid by illegal immigrants in taxes, outweigh taxes paid to the government by a ratio of 7 to 1. If we include all other subsidy programs, then this amount raises to $135 billion per year. So the $135 billion paid out of federal and state and local taxpayers' pockets covers the cost of 12.5 million illegal aliens and 4.2 million citizen children, and amounts to approximately $6,940 per person. We're paying $6,940 per person on the average to support illegal immigration. Clearly, the cost of doing nothing to stop illegal immigration is much too high. If we just cut these costs in half, if we stop half the illegal immigration and save half the money we're spending, then we can put our economy back on track, and it more than pays for any wall we want to build. The numbers here, there's only one way they can add up. And I think the whole issue is President Trump in the office, and the Democrats are going to do whatever they can to fight him on every front, every single front. What does this mean for us, though? What does it mean right now? What I believe it means right this moment is actually a long court battle for the president. Congress is most likely going to fight this. They're going to pass a resolution, or they're going to pass something that stops this temporarily, and then it's going to have to go to court. And who knows? Who knows when it's ever going to actually truly be enacted? So this is something that's probably going to go on for a little while, but I'm fairly confident the Democrats are going to tie this up in court for as long as they can, and they're probably going to try to drag it out into the 2020 election. Well, I'm going to leave it there for today, and I want to talk more about this in the upcoming future. Thanks for watching the video. Check out the channel. We're going to be putting out a lot more videos here very soon, so check out the channel, and for now, Serious Survivor, out.